Gods for the Sega Genesis is an incredibly hard game. It is balls hard. It is the Iron Giant's metal balls hard. It is so hard, in fact, that it makes it an unbearable game because of the difficulty curve. Now, the gameplay itself is also really bad. We're gonna get into everything about this game. First of all, let's get into controls. The controls are completely unresponsive. You do an attack, and a lot of times it doesn't register right away. It's just that simple. There's a delay. And with a game like this, with an incredibly hard game like this, even a slight delay is gonna mean you will die a lot in this game. And here's the worst part of the game. The enemies randomly spawn right near you. Didn't catch that? Instant replay. You kill the enemy right near you, you kill two more, another one spawns right behind you, you have no time to react, and even if you did, the horrible controls, which have a delay, would make it so you don't react in time, even if your reflexes are really good. There's literally, a lot of the time, almost no time to react. You're shooting a group of enemies that spawn in front of you, and a new gang of enemies spawn right behind you and just violate you on the pinball table. But that's not it. Even if you see the enemies coming, a lot of times you won't be able to kill all of them in time because it takes forever to kill them. The enemies have a shit ton of hit points, and you don't. This game's difficulty is seriously, laughably hard. Not laughably like I'm having the time of my life, laughably like I'm in a straitjacket laughing because I lost my marbles because this game sent me to the nut house. It is really difficult. And the sad part is the game has potential. There is potential. There's an actual unique gameplay mechanic where you collect keys and open doors. It's not just platforming and throwing knives and axes at enemies. There's also levers you pull and keys you have to collect. It's in essence a platforming puzzle game. But here's the thing about the puzzles in this game. They're fucking insane. It's not that they're hard or anything. They don't follow any kind of human rational sense. It's just trial and error. You have to try a bunch of levers a bunch of different times and hope the combination works. There's no thinking involved. It's just doing shit a bunch of times. Alright, fuck this. I'm just gonna commit suicide. Oh look, I made it through. That's great. The way to make it through is to lose a life. Brilliant. As I've been playing, I'm sure you've noticed one thing that I really haven't touched much upon. The frame rate. The frame rate in this game is abysmal. This is a 16-bit game, and it has frame rate like an 8-bit game. The graphics, if it's just a screenshot in a magazine, it'll make you think it's a 16-bit game, but the frame rate says otherwise. The keys and levers are not the only puzzle in this game. Really, the hardest puzzle to figure out in this game is how they could have fathomed making it this hard and releasing it and not knowing, not realizing how fucking impossible the game would be. That's the real puzzle. But another puzzle you'll find is you can get lost in these dungeons, like seriously lost. And it's not fun to get lost like in Castlevania, because in Castlevania at least you get a map. Here you get lost and then you just get raped by a bunch of enemies spawning out of nowhere. On top of getting lost, you get just destroyed by the impossible enemies. Look at that, fucking flying from the left, from the right, fucking out of my butt, from the fucking everywhere. There's enemies flying out of the mouth of enemies. There's enemies giving birth and the babies attacking you. It's a clusterfuck of enemies from all sides. There's nothing I can do, especially with how horrible the responsiveness of the controls is. hint, return pot to the store? Yeah, I bet the fucking developers had to do that a lot during production of this game. You know the drugs they were doing had to be laced with something. How else can you explain this game? Didn't catch that bullshit? Let's go to the super slow-mo replay. After the first enemy hits me, I realized they're coming at me, so I started throwing knives in their direction, and I still couldn't stop them from killing me, even though I knew they were coming at me, and I was throwing the knives right at them. I was doing everything right. Except, of course, playing this game. That's the only wrong thing I was doing, is playing this shit pile of a game. Really, if I'm to be faulted for anything, it would be that. Look at that. Even the enemies are so disgusted to be in this game. They're throwing up. In between levels, you get to go to the shop and buy weapons and potions and things like that. And you better buy the right fucking weapons and enough fucking potions and other shit to keep yourself alive. If you don't, if you like accidentally don't buy a weapon, you're fucked. You start a level off with no weapon, game over. Not just your life, but the game is over. Every single life is really crucial. Losing one already brings down your chances of beating the game by like 30% easily. So if you don't have a weapon, run into the enemies and just fucking die. That's all you can do. You gotta be prepared. Even if you have the best fucking weapons, mind you, you're still gonna get fucking ass rammed. There's no avoiding it. It's just you're not gonna get ass rammed right away. You might kill a few enemies in the process of your ass ramming. Oh, and get this, the weapon shops are buggy as shit. A lot of the time, you buy a weapon and a way to shoot the weapon, and either they send you the wrong weapon, or they send you the wrong way to shoot it. Like, you buy an axe, they send you a spear. You buy a way to shoot it where it's focused into one specific target, and the way you're shooting the weapon is like all around, like crazy shots. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a complete guessing game. You might as well just pick a random weapon, because you're gonna get a random weapon anyway. But honestly, that is such a minor complaint. The game is just as hard even with the best weapons out there. Where it fails is just how fucking impossible the enemies are. They come out of nowhere, they fall on top of you, they fly at you from the sides, they kill you in a few hits, you have to shoot them a billion times, there's a whole gang of them. You get lost in the levels, and when you get lost, that's when most of them appear. It's like when you get lost and you're looking around, your main objective is to fucking try to find your way out, and that's when the enemies gang up on you. Right when you're not expecting it. They all come out, and they all want a piece. The later levels? Oh, forget about it. It's hell. No, literally, you're in hell. The levels look like, just scenes from the movie Hellraiser. It's fucking hell. It's dungeons of pain. The enemies take a billion shots. They're all wearing, like, these insanely fat metal outfits that make them impossible to kill. All the projectile guns shooting from the walls are like these metal steampunk freaks. They're metal mushrooms that take a billion hits. They fly out of nowhere. You have to keep climbing up, and the enemies come out of nowhere, jumping on top of you, just completely destroying you from all sides. It's like, you have to be a masochist to get yourself to the later levels. You have to be me, basically, to get yourself to the later levels. You have to be a fucking video game masochist. The only good thing I can say about this game is it's pretty. In screenshots, once you actually play and look at the frame rate, you could tell all the things wrong with the actual graphics. So yeah, that's gods. The gods must be crazy for allowing this game to be created. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends. Stay tuned for another bad game review in the coming days. Toodles. Oh, I need a cold shower after this. I was playing this shit all day. Didn't even mention how clunky the jumping is. Ugh.